Hello, welcome to another V's Cards video. My name is Veronika Čuić. I'm an independent Stampin Up demonstrator in Australia. In this video, we're going to make a fun, easy, interactive card. So let's get started. I've already pre-cut some shapes ahead of time. I'm going to stamp on 3 different segments of that circle and then colour in. I'm using the circle window and I'm using a template to help me or guide me through the stamping process. And it's also easy to be able to measure which stamp shapes will fit into that circle by using the stencil. Sorry about the shadow in my video. I realised later that I had an extra light on above my phone which created that shadow, so forgive me for that. As usual, this video will run for approximately 10 minutes. Stay with me towards the end because I will have an example of a fun pet Christmas interactive card using the same dies. I cased this card by Melissa, the stamp dog, so be sure to check out her YouTube channel as well. It's easy to position the template onto that spinning wheel because I'm matching up the 2 tiny dots and then using that large window space as an area for where I'm going to stamp. This way I can easily see where I'm going to position the image and make sure it's going to be revealed in that hole or in that circular opening. I'm using my stamping blends to colour in my images. I just feel like it's a nice and quick, easy way to colour in, and they are pretty forgiving, especially if you use the lighter tones. A shout out to Kim, thanks so much for the idea of changing up the colours of the 2 turtles to distinguish their individuality. Great idea. I did use some watercolour pencils as well for the grass because I wanted something fairly subtle, and I used a blender pen to blend the watercolour pencil as well. Some of you subscribers may have noticed that I've come in a week early. Normally I do a video every 3 weeks, but this time seeing next week was going to be Christmas and I want to spend that time with family, so you got this one early. I hope to release another video in the 2nd week of January, and then classes in Melbourne will begin again in February. To find out more and to become a V's Cards VIP, simply email me your expressions of interest and we'll put you down as a VIP. You are most welcome. Let's take a quick look at some of the products that I'm using for this project. I love this DS pen. I've used it in so many projects in the past. Perhaps you might have noticed that in my previous videos. Check out the Give It a Whirl die set. Isn't it fabulous with all these different shapes? I love it. The arrow is pointing to the die shape I used as a template, and then I've got 4 other arrows pointing to the different peepholes you can use for an interactive project. My favourite is the circle peephole because I can frame it nicely with that sculpt frame. For this project I'm using the Turtle Friends stamp set. It does come in a bundle, but for this project I did not use the punch that comes with it as a bundle. In one of my previous YouTube videos I did a project using the bundle, so you can search for that in this YouTube channel. Using a blending brush and the Balmy Blue ink pad, I brushed on some blue. It didn't really come through in that peephole, so later on you'll see me adding a bit more blue to it so that it's more visible. I already pre-cut the green part of the top part of the card, and now I'm going to add that circle peephole to it. Once I've placed it in the position where I'm happy, I'm going to use some washi tape to keep it together while it's going through the machine. Once I have die cut that peephole, I'm also going to use a embossing folder to give it a bit of texture like turtle shells. Now I am adding the beautiful Designer Series paper as a backing, and then I'm going to put the mechanism together and you'll see that in action. Remember that inside of the peephole that I told you to keep for later? We're going to use that as part of the mechanism for spinning that rotating disc. So you'll take your pick tool to prick a hole inside the centre of that circle, and then you're going to use a split pin to put in the front of that rotating disc, and then behind it you'll have that smaller circle. Add a couple of dimensionals to the back, peel it off, and then use that split pin to peek through that tiny hole so that you can accurately position where you're going to put that spinning disc. And then once you press down, there it is. It's now attached to your card front. Take some care when you're positioning the dimensionals. You want to make sure that it's well away from that larger circle disc so that it doesn't interfere with the spinning of it. You want to keep the dimensionals well away from that circular area. Almost finished the card. We're going to label happy birthday on it, and I've pre-cut some designer series paper from the same pack, just a couple of strips to give a bit of colour as it's sitting behind the sentiment. I did use my Stampin' Up emboss machine to give that sentiment a nice border. To cover up this split pin, I'm going to use that beautiful scalloped frame die cut, and I've chosen a nice orange complementary to the green. To take advantage of the beautiful real red cardstock and the three gorgeous shaped hearts, I decided I was going to add that in between the window and the sentiment. Again, the red and the green work together really well as they're complementary. I also add some Wink of Stella to it just to give the hearts a bit of shine. Why not? Going back on the top part of the circle, I decided to add some watercolour pencil to give it a bit of a sky look. And a worm for the bird. Some of you are a little bit surprised when a video comes out, even though you're subscribed, and the reason for this is that you probably didn't press all when you chose notifications. So you need to go in there if you're not subscribed yet, click on subscribe, and then click on the bell icon, and there is a drop down arrow in that bell icon, and you need to choose all so that you receive all the notifications and won't miss out on any of my latest videos. If you are already subscribed, just click on the bell icon to check that you've clicked on all. I'm adding some finishing touches using the watercolour pencil and a blender pen. Remember that fun Christmas pet card I told you about? I'm just about to show you the interactive card that I made. Check it out. This bundle is retiring. I did only use the stamp set, so none of the dies, and I think they're fun and cute, and I know I'm going to use them a lot more often. Thanks so much for joining me. Happy Christmas, and I'll see you in the next year. Take care and happy crafting.